I want to start with a quick snapshot of REMONDIS Group. REMONDIS is a family-owned and family-operated company, and founded nearly over 80 years ago. And REMONDIS generates nowadays turnover worldwide of over 6.4 billion euros. REMONDIS has a workforce of 30,000 employees, and we are in over 500 locations worldwide and in over 34 countries, amongst others Australia. We operate nearly 450 facilities worldwide and run a fleet of nearly 7,000 trucks. REMONDIS runs globally over 60 organic processing facilities, which are a variety of technologies, amongst others tunnel composting, window composting, anaerobic digestion, and many other proven technologies, depending on the client's needs and the waste stream. We process over 1.5 million tons of food and green organics, and in addition to this, as a separate business, we recover over 1.2 million tons of biosolids, either for land application on farms or for energy recovery. In this slide, I show you some snapshots of facilities we installed already over Europe. On picture number 1, you see our head office in Lünen, where you can see one of our many facilities we have there. In Lünen, we have, which is in West Germany, close to the Dutch border, we have the biggest industrial waste and commercial waste recycling facility in Europe, with over 2 million tons of material going in and over 1.5 million tons of material being recovered. And amongst others, we are tunnel composting, which you can see on picture number 1. On picture number 2, you see one of our mulch, soil, and earth recovering activities. Picture number 3, you see our MBT facility in Münster, which processes over 150,000 tons of MSW per annum. And picture number 4 is one of our biomass recycling and energy recovery facilities. Here you see in picture number 1 one of our new tunnel composting facilities in Korschenbroich in West Germany. Number 2 is our new biofilter in our new facility in Coesfeld. Picture number 3, probably a few of you have visited already, is one of our partnerships with the city of Frankfurt, where we anaerobic digest and tunnel compost food waste, garden waste, and green waste for the Council of Frankfurt. And picture number 4, beautiful little window composting facility, which we run in Wanlo in Germany. Coming now to Australia. REMONDIS is in Australia already active since 1982 and has currently a workforce of nearly 1,000 employees on 32 locations all over Australia. And most of you doesn't know, but we nowadays have over 27 facilities all over Australia, serviced by over 600 trucks, and we cover Australian-wide around 400,000 tons of recyclables and raw materials. As you can see here, our main activities are on the eastern seaboard in Australia, starting on the top north in Cairns, going further down Mackay, Sunshine Coast, southeast Queensland, from Brisbane to Ipswich, to Moreton Bay. Then in Port Macquarie, we have our tunnel composting facility. In the Hunter Valley, we have a large commercial waste collection and recovery activity. Our new facility in Lake Macquarie. We are in the Central Coast, where we collect for the Central Coast Councils, Gosford and Wyong, the waste. We have activities in Orange, a lot of activities in growing in Sydney, even in the Blue Mountains. We are in Wollongong for Wollongong and Shell Harbour Council active. We have several activities in the ACT, where we run a few transfer stations, the landfill, and the commingled MRF for the Australian Capital Territory. We have 2 depots in Melbourne, 1 in Adelaide, and we have a paper and cardboard recycling and recovery activity in Perth, where we bale and export recyclables for several local councils. We are active in more or less the entire food chain of organics collection to processing, and so we think we quite good understand the needs of councils and the different activities councils are looking for, and councils are working with to divert waste from landfills. And in regards to collection of green waste, we are now in Queensland. We just started last year a new collection for the Sunshine Coast Regional Council, which you see on picture number 1, where we have now a beautiful depot where we collect the MSW commingled in the green waste for the Sunshine Coast Regional Council. Picture number 2, you see our depot in Somersby, where we collect for Wyong Shire Council and Gosford City Council, the MSW, the green waste, and the commingled for the Central Coast Councils. We're also since nearly 20 years in Wollongong and Shell Harbour to collect their waste from our Unanderra depot. And we just started last year also in Maribyrnong in Melbourne metro area, the collection of MSW and green waste for Maribyrnong City Council. And overall, we collect nearly green waste from nearly 1 million Australian residents in Australia. In addition to this, we also collect a lot of green organics and food organics from commercial sources. So we have very happy clients such as Ridges, Novotel, BAT, TAFE, Liebherr, or even ANZ in Melbourne. And we service these clients at the moment in Sydney, Melbourne, in Canberra, and in Port Macquarie, and we're trying to implement further activities in the other cities in Australia. We're also quite busy in collection and recovery of timber waste and green organics from mine sites and from major power stations, and we have quite happy clients like us, Rio Tinto in the Hunter Valley or in the Illawarra. Here in picture 1 you see our news facility which we put in the Shire down in Sydney. It is a commercial waste and curbside cleanup, recycling and recovery facility where we recover the green waste and the recyclables from Kogarah City Council. And on picture number 2 you see one of our major activities where we have in partnership and alliance with Brisbane City Council, where we operate their landfill and their transfer station together with the Brisbane City Council. And on picture number 3, you see one of the 4 transfer stations which we operate together with Brisbane City Council, where we recover the green waste which is delivered to this site. And overall, we recover from transfer stations now green waste from over 1 million Australian residents. We are also quite active in the reuse and recovery of biosolids for beneficial reuse on farms. Our activities there are the land application of biosolids in Southeast Queensland, which we do in a joint venture with a local company called Arkwood Organic Recycling, where we are quite successful and quite happy supplying farmers in the hinterland with biosolids from Queensland Urban Utilities, which is the Urban Water Board in Queensland, in Southeast Queensland, which stands for the Brisbane, Ipswich, Locker Valley, Scenic Rim and Somerset councils. We're also collecting the biosolids from Redland City Council and from Logan City Council, which we then beneficially use on farms in the dry hinterland in Southeast Queensland. The farmers are quite keen to get this material because it helps to grow the plants much better than normal fertilizers. We're also in a joint venture in Cairns for the windrow composting of biosolids, and our joint venture partner there is a local company called FGF Developments, and we receive biosolids in Cairns from the councils, Cairns Regional Council, Mareeba Shire Council, Douglas Shire Council, Cassowary Coast Shire, Regional Council, Tablelands Regional Council and Cookshire Council, and the farmers in far north Queensland are also quite keen to get this material after the composting process. In Port Macquarie, probably most of you have seen the facility. We are running since 2001 the tunnel composting facility, and we have since 2001 nearly processed over 500,000 tons of material. Initially also stabilization of MSW, and nowadays of biosolids and food and green waste. And we receive the biosolids from Port Macquarie Hastings Council. Overall, we recover around 200,000 tons of biosolids from this council and serve over 2 million Australian residents and help to improve the soil quality on farms all over Australia. In picture number 1, you can see one of our trucks delivering the biosolids to the very dry farms in the very far hinterland, which needs material to improve their soil. Picture number 2, you see the land application of stabilized biosolids on farms, and as you can see, the land there is very dry. Picture number 3, you see our windrow composting activities of biosolids in cairns. And on number 4, you see our tunnel composting of biosolids in Port Macquarie. So we offer the clients the technology they want. So we do from window composting to tunnel composting to land application, all activities in regards to biosolids. We're also processing since quite a while food and green organics in Australia. In cairns, as I mentioned, it's the window composting. So we use biosolids in combination with the locally produced sugarcane residues and with timber, and process on our site in cairns around 20,000 tons of these materials every year. In Lake Macquarie, we started in 2013 for Lake Macquarie City Council the mulching of the new introduced third bin, the green waste bin, and we have a diversion rate a contamination rate of less than 1%, and council is very happy with the service, and we are already, after 1.5 years of operation, at a throughput of 25,000 tons. And we are currently in the process to getting a tunnel and a window composting facility approved, so that we then hopefully next year can show you some beautiful pictures of these activities. In Port Macquarie, since 2001, we run the tunnel composting facility for Port Macquarie Hastings Council, and we are receiving there around 30,000 tons of biosolids, food waste, green waste, and mulch from transfer stations from Port Macquarie Hastings Council and from Kempsey Shire Council. On these 3 sites, we are processing around 75,000 tons of green food waste and biosolids in New South Wales and Queensland, and we are looking to expand this also in further states in Australia. And the farmers and the off-takers for land application and for soil improvement are very happy with the products we produce. In picture number 1, you see our new mulching operation in Lake Macquarie, where we receive the green waste and produce a good product, which you can see it's hardly contaminated, and it's the service is very good, appreciated by the residents. Picture number 2, you see our Port Macquarie facility, and with the new contract which was awarded last 2 years ago to us for another 10 years, we installed a new solar system on the roof of the tunnels to reduce our electricity cost and to produce the green energy. And we're thinking also implementing something like this on Lake Macquarie. Looking back over the last couple of years about all these projects, we think maybe it's worth to give you some ideas about what are from our experience, the key factors of success, and when we work with all these councils together. And it's very important to have an DA-approved site, which helps to minimize the costs and to minimize the development time. It's also very important to have a mandatory site visit during the tender process and the documented Q&A process. We think it's very helpful to have a tender response period of at least 4 months, especially for bigger tenders, even longer. The contract length to reduce the capital costs, which lowers the gate fee to the councils, should be around 10 to 14 years. At larger contracts, even longer. In Lake Macquarie, we have a contract for 18 years, so it's not unusual. And to avoid high contamination, we recommend to keep the mixed waste bin weekly and the third bin fortnightly. And after a stage transition includes the food organics into the green organics. And we did this, or the councils in Port Macquarie and Lake Macquarie did this, and in both councils the contamination is less than 0.5% actually. And we recommend to choose the technology which is already proven in Australia for many years, so it's no point going with a technology which has only a reference in Asia or in somewhere else in the world. I think it's a little bit fair to say that REMONDIS is a good partner for the collection and recovery of all the residual waste from households as well as from commercial and industrial clients. We have a lot of activities in composting and recovery of green and food waste and biocides, which we're happy to show everyone. We have a lot of activities in regards to RDF production overseas. We operate over 13 transfer stations for councils. We operate a lot of CNI, CND and MRFs for council and commercial clients in Australia. As I mentioned, the composting plants, we run 6 landfills on behalf of councils in Australia or our own. And some of the references of the operational contracts are Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Canberra, Mackay, and we're happy to show you all of these, Port Macquarie, Lake Macquarie. And we have several partnerships, joint ventures and alliances in Australia, for example, as mentioned, with ArcWood, with LMS, with FGF, with the University of Queensland. We have very good cooperation with the Brisbane City Council, but also international references, which we're happy to show in Frankfurt, in Nijmegen, in Holland, or in Poznan. Thank you very much.